Hey everyone, it's Courtney, and I'm here with a regular WIP update for once. It's been a long time since I've done one of these without a special reason, but I actually feel like I've got a lot of stuff to show you guys, so here I am. I'm in a new location today because I now have a desk up here in my home office that my husband built for me, and so I think this is actually a better location than downstairs in the dining room, and I won't have to lug my craft stuff up and down the stairs in order to do these videos anymore, so I'll probably be doing them from here now. So I'm delighted about that. I think my craft supplies make a pretty cute background for this anyway. So I will jump right into the most exciting thing that I have to show you. If you don't watch the rest of the video, then at least you'll see this. It's my one finish since my last video, and it was actually one of my Stitch Mania starts. So I'm really delighted to show you my Cinderella from Brooks Books. I went to a cross-stitch retreat with Stitches from the Heart this past weekend, and I finished her there. It was a concerted effort. I was actually trying to get her done before the retreat so that I could show her off at the show and tell that they do the first evening, but that didn't actually happen, so I worked on her all of Friday afternoon and most of Saturday, and did all the finishing touches and everything on Saturday. And so here she is. I'll give you a bit of a close-up. I hope some of the sparkle shows up on camera. I've noticed that pictures of her don't really tend to do her justice, sadly. But maybe you can see her on video. The hardest part of the finishing to do was definitely the tassels on the pillow here. Those are actually little lengths of this same ribbon as over here, all wrapped up on each other, and then I snipped off the ends to make a tassel and secured them with a bow made out of just some regular DMC floss, and they're just so tiny that it took forever to make them look nice. So that was horrible. Those 3 tassels by themselves probably took me 45 minutes. Ugh. The rest of the finishing was actually really fun to do though. The rosettes are made out of memory thread from DMC, which has like a wire or something inside so they hold their shape. So those were really easy. I just coiled them up and tacked them on. For the beading and all of the embellishments, I used some really thin nylon thread. It looks like this. It's really strong and barely visible at all on the front of the project. So I'm pretty sure that this was in a little kit of goodies that Trisha, the left-handed stitcher, gave to me when I was her roommate at a previous retreat. If that's the case, thanks again, Trisha. This stuff was great to use for finishing Cinderella. So she ended up being my first project that I ever put any beads on, and I think the effect is just marvelous. But some of the clusters of beads and some of the embellishments are kind of spaced out widely from each other. So I don't know if you can tell at all, but I had to travel, well, I didn't have to, but I chose to travel pretty far using that nylon thread on the back between some of those embellishments. I don't think it matters though, because this will probably get framed. And you won't ever see it. It's totally invisible from the back, on the back of the project from the front, so I didn't worry about it too much. I'm imagining framing this in a white frame, but it might be a while before I do that because I want to do more of these princesses. They're a series from Brooks Books, and they're still coming out. She's trying to do one a month this year. And I have the first 5 in my possession. I chose to order the hard copies of the charts instead of the PDFs, so I'm actually waiting for them to come in the mail and stuff. And so that's a little bit slower than getting the PDFs. But I don't really mind because I have so many other projects to work on. So there is my finish, Cinderella. It actually occurred to me yesterday that I didn't sign her yet, so I guess she's not really finished. I have to put my initials on and the date still. But I will do that. And then she'll be finished. So, I did want to show you my vision for the next few. I have in mind to put all of them on like a solid, relatively bright primary color of 28 count linen that sort of complements or coordinates with the gown itself. And so I've got 3 pieces of fabric already lined up. This is 28 count linen from Witchelt in Provence Lavender. I've also, I think I've showed you this before because she was one of my Menia starts, but I've got Belle started on antique. Hold on, let me see if I can find. No, yeah, 28 count linen in French Country Blue. I don't know who the producer of this linen is, but I picked it up at the Tinsmith's Wife in Comfort, Texas. And she didn't write on the tag who the maker of this linen is, but if you Google French Country Blue, you might be able to find it. It looks like a smaller project than Cinderella, but that's just because I had the linen cut to size, because they'll do that at the Tinsmith's Wife for you. They'll cut it to size and sell it by the square inch, so you don't have to pay for margins that you don't actually need. So that saved me a little bit of money. However, they don't serge their edges there. Stitches from the Heart does serge their edges, so that's nice too when you can get that done. So those, and then I picked up a third piece. Oh wait, here I'll show you the pattern for Belle first. So this is Belle. This is the gown that will be going on French Country Blue. Lovely. Very similar to the fabric that Brooke herself chose for the sample on that one. And then for Snow White, which this is the pattern for Snow White, I've chosen this fabric. This is 28 count linen from Lakeside Linens in the color Pear. Not vintage pear, but pear. All of their fabrics they do in both regular and vintage finishes, and the vintage finish is mottled and faded and is supposed to look older, I guess, and it's really good for primitive stitching or anything where you want a more textured appearance. But for these, I've decided that what I'm going for is these solid, bright primary colors, and I wanted for Snow White something in like a forest green, so it'll look like she's in the forest or something, and it will look nice behind the bright red cloak that she's got. So that's going to be a complementary color. But I really am happy with how all of these look next to each other. I think those are lovely colors. I know that I'm still going to be on the lookout for a pink and a yellow at least for some of the other princesses. So if you have any ideas or suggestions, it has to be a 28 count linen, solid color. Feel free to comment those down below, and I'd be very grateful because I'm still on the lookout for a good pink and a good yellow and maybe other colors, other bright primary colors as well. No variegation, just solid colors. So that is the Brooks Books gowns finished. Oh, and I was going to mention too that I purchased the accessory pack from Brooks Books Etsy shop to go along with the pattern because I didn't want to mess with finding all the beads and stuff myself. The accessory packs don't have all of the finishing materials like the memory thread and stuff, which I was a little disappointed about because I only use a couple inches of some of those ribbons and stuff. I thought maybe she could make more money if she included in the accessory packs some lengths of ribbon and stuff, ribbon and memory thread, and she could charge a little bit more for these and probably make her money back on those skeins of specialty floss. But anyway, those aren't included, so I bought them by themselves. But the beads were. It came with beads, a beading needle, and a little bit of perforated paper. And as you can see, there's a ton of finishing material left in there. A lot of beads, a lot of perforated paper, and I actually wonder if there's maybe enough to actually do the pattern again using these. I suspect there might be. So that is cool. That could be reusable. So then next I think I'll go ahead and show you my WIPs that I've got in progress right now, that I've made progress on since my Stitch Mania video. I've only got a few of them because I spent most of my time working on Cinderella. But I'll show you, let's see. Oops. Before I went to the retreat, oh, well, no, this isn't the one I thought it was. This one I worked on at the retreat. This is Santa's Village from Country Cottage Needleworks. I showed you this before for my Mania starts down here, these 2 cabins in the last row. I've got 4 more cabins to do, but at that time the stocking store was only half finished. And so at the cross stitch retreat, mostly Saturday evening and Sunday morning, I stitched the rest of the stocking store, and that's looking pretty cute. So that's another mini finish for this one. There's actually a mistake in it, but you probably can't tell. The mistake is that there's supposed to be an extra snowflake, one of these tiny little 4-stitch snowflakes on this side over here, but I accidentally placed this big snowflake too far to the side, and so there wasn't really room for it over there. But I decided not to go back again and restitch that big snowflake because I didn't want to. I thought it looked fine. So stocking store is 1 snowflake short, but who cares? Sometimes I care about things like that, but this time I decided to just let it go. So 4 more houses to do on that one. As Christmas gets closer, I'm sure that I will get more motivated to work on that. I'll actually put that away afterward. Speaking of Christmas stitching, I also made a little bit more progress on my Brooks Books Angel Noel that I'm restitching because my cat destroyed my first one. So here she is. She's back to looking kind of creepy. But that's a little bit of progress. She's my travel project, so I worked on her on a little trip that I had to make for work, just on the plane. I just keep her tucked in the magazine right there. So that's that. Before I went on the cross stitch retreat, I spent a little bit of time working on my Fabulous Women of History stitch along from the Clouds Factory, and I finished 2 and most of a third of the women. I finished Eleanor Roosevelt, Coco Chanel, and most of Virginia Woolf, although her name isn't there yet. And I've got a little bit of a start on Marie Curie. She'll go here. So I believe I explained this one in a previous video because it was a Mania start. But basically there are going to be 24 little motifs of different significant women from history in 3 rows of 8. So this is going to be the left 4 of the middle row. And there'll be a row up here and a row down there and 4 more on the right. And I think 2/3 of this pattern is already released. I'm just way behind because I didn't start this until Stitch Mania. I wasn't really sold on it until then, but I really like it. It's also going to say at the top, there's some script that says, "Women are the true architects of society." Some of the women that are coming down the line include Cleopatra, Joan of Arc, Elizabeth I, Queen Victoria, Jane Austen, Amelia Earhart, Susan B. Anthony, Frida Kahlo, Sacagawea, and several others. And the whole bottom row we don't even know yet because they haven't been released. These patterns are coming in pairs at the beginning of every month. So in less than 2 weeks, at the beginning of August, I'll be able to see the next one too. But there's that. I think this linen is called Amsterdam Blue. It came in a kit with one of the Mirabilias that I picked up at a previous Stitch Retreat that I'm changing the linen that I'm doing her on, so this was free to do something else, and I thought it worked nicely for this. My plan for this was actually to stitch it and then hang it in my cubicle at work. However, we've recently been told at work that we are being moved away from the current office that we're in into a new office building that they're building because apparently we're running out of space in the main office. So my team's being kicked out, and they're saying right now that at the new office building there's not going to be any assigned seating. It's going to be an open and collaborative floor plan. And I don't know what to think about that, but it does make me sad that I won't have a space like a cubicle that's mine where I can put stuff like that. So now I don't know what I'll do with her. I guess I'll just frame them and put them here because this is my workspace when I work from home, which I do on Mondays every week. I'm actually working from home today, but I'm filming this on my lunch break. So another WIP. This is my last one that I've actually made progress on, and it's on my frame right now because I was working on it last night. This is the Lizzie Kate Green Flippets. I'm working on this fifth panel over here, Eat Locally. It's going to look like this. Let me try and get this closer up for you so that you can see. There, that's the progress I made on that. Coming along. I like these because they're like little mini finishes every time you finish a panel. This one I have in mind to get framed and hang it in my kitchen when I'm finished. Okay, the last thing I think I want to show you is some recent acquisitions, patterns I obtained that I'm going to start working on. First one is these 4 angels that I bought from Brooks Books in a sale a while back. She's been a little bit behind with things, and so I only got these in the mail a week or 2 ago. It was a long wait, but like I said, I don't mind because I have so much else to work on, and these are kind of just a stash anyway. So I won't probably work on these until I'm finished with the angel from the magazine. So this one is Spirit of the Christmas Star. This is probably my favorite of the 4 that I bought. I love that she has dark hair like me. I think she's just beautiful. And I've seen photos of her finished in Brooke's Facebook group, and she looks even better in those than she does in this photo, which is remarkable to say. I've also got the Spirit of Knitting Angel. She's got balls of yarn and knitting needles and stuff, and I think I've told you guys before that I also knit in addition to cross stitch. When I'm at home and crafting, I prefer to cross stitch. I like that better. But I do take my knitting to work sometimes, and I have a whole group of friends there who knit at lunchtime on Thursdays, so I do love knitting. Of course, I had to buy Spirit of Cross Stitch Angel. I might convert her hair from blonde to brown because my hair is brown. And this one is quilting. Spirit of Quilting Angel. I've only ever made one quilt, and it was that one I made. I made a Christmas tree skirt with my mother-in-law. But maybe there's more quilting in the future, and if not, it's already special because she does it. My mother-in-law does. Then there's a couple things that I picked up at the cross stitch retreat. Not nearly as many as the last couple times that I've gone, but still several. I got this set of flippets from Lizzie Kate. There's one for every month of the year. And I noticed after I picked them up that the July one is actually wrong. There is a July one in here, but it's not the one from this set. So I'll show you the set. January, February, March, April, May, June, August, September, October, November, and December. So these are all called A Year with Charm, and they actually come with these little like brass charms inside them, and they go, you know, somewhere on the pattern like that. However, this July one is from a set called Holidays with Charm, and it is not just the name of the month, it just says 4th of July instead of just July. Also, it's a vertical pattern when all of the rest of them are horizontal like this. And the number doesn't fit in with the numbers on the rest of them. So this, I think, does not belong, and I'll have to find something else to do with this and maybe try and locate the actual July one for this set so that it's a complete set. I don't know if I'll stitch them anytime soon, so that's not a very high priority for me, but they were cheap and I just thought I'd pick them up for my stash. And then on the freebie table at the retreat, I only got a few things. Nothing super great, but I got 2 booklets. This one is from Jeanette Douglas. It says, "Take time to read." I just thought it was kind of cute. So there's that. And then this one from the Cricket collection. This is a Christmas design that I thought I could make into an ornament or a flat fold Christmas decoration or something. But that's pretty lovely too. I also grabbed 2 books, one booklet and then one actually hardcover book that are Danish cross-stitch designs. And I didn't know that this was a thing before. Like, I don't know how Danish cross-stitch is different from everybody else's cross-stitch, but both of these books have a lot of botanical designs in them. This is the first one. Danish Floral Charted Designs by Gerda Bengtsen. I'm just really attracted to the flowers and fruits and stuff, and there's a bunch of them, little cross-stitch designs in here. And then this hardcover book, Contemporary Danish Cross-Stitch Design, has a bunch of also botanical designs, food designs, geometric designs. Although the cover is kind of in rough shape. So it's not one that's going to look beautiful on my bookshelf necessarily. Kind of looks nice without the dust cover though. It's kind of minimalist, isn't it? This was published, let's just look, in 1982. First published in Denmark under the title Vor Tids Korsting. Translated by Christine Hausch. From the Danish Handcraft Guild. So that's kind of cool. And then finally, the last thing I grabbed from the freebie table was the 2016 Christmas Ornaments magazine from Just Cross Stitch. I didn't buy this last year because I wasn't super blown away by the cover. There wasn't anything on there that really jumped out at me that I wanted to stitch, but I thought it would be fun to flip through there and see if I could find anything that wasn't featured on the cover that I would maybe like to stitch. So I'll have fun with that later. And that's it for stash positions. That's it for this video. So thanks for joining me this time. I'll be back again sometime in the future to show you more progress that I make. Although I've been going slower lately and not working on my stuff as much. So who knows when that'll be. I make no promises, but I'll see you whenever that is. So until next time, happy stitching.